Once again, we find ourselves caught in the middle of a battle of wits behind two of the smartest men who have ever lived. But which genius eclipsed the other when it came to scientific advancements, ideas, and intellectual prowess? Sir Isaac Newton or Albert Einstein? Before Isaac Newton was a knight, physicist, and mathematical genius, he was born Christmas Day, December 25, 1642, in Lincolnshire, England. He was taught at the King's School in the town of Grantham, where he learned Latin, ancient Greek, and of course, math. It was clear to his teachers that he was more than advanced, and his work was said to distinctly advance every branch of mathematics ever studied. During his first 3 years at Cambridge, Newton was studying for his classes, but he also kept a second set of notes away from his educators called, and forgive my Latin here, Questiones Quaedam Philosophicae, or Certain Philosophical Questions, translated into English. This work would become the basis of a massive scientific revolution of thinking and discovery. Keep in mind, this is while he was still a student. He would later go on to discover the theory of gravity, and it actually did have something to do with an apple falling. But it was more of a conversation that took place after watching it fall to the earth, rather than an apple actually hitting him on the head. In 1687, he would publish Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, or Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, which has been called the single most influential book on physics. In that same year, he would break down his 3 laws of motion. An object will remain at rest or moving in a straight line unless there is a disturbance from an external source. When force is applied to an object, it will accelerate, and for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Albert Einstein was born in 1879 in Württemberg, Germany. When he was a little boy, he was amazed by the technology behind the compass and the concept of geometry. He was very religious at an early age, and while most people think he was a bad high school student, it's not necessarily true. He excelled at math and physics, but had issues in French, chemistry, and biology. By 1902, it was the lowest point in Einstein's life. He had no job, wasn't allowed to marry the woman he loved as he had no money, and his father's business went bankrupt. Things turned around for him when he became a patent clerk in Bern, Switzerland. He would finally be allowed to marry his love interest, Mileva Merrick, and have 2 children. As a patent clerk, Einstein was able to let his mind wander, and he asked himself a question. What would happen if you raced alongside a light beam? The speed of light was a central question that Einstein studied, which would contradict Newton's laws of motion and lead to his eventual discovery of the most famous equation. E equals mc squared. E equals mass times the speed of light squared. 1905 would be called Einstein's miracle year. He published 4 papers which would alter the world of physics forever. They were based on the electrodynamics of a human body, the energy source of the sun and other stars, the existence of atoms, and photoelectric light. Please keep in mind we are barely scratching the surface of their intellectual efforts. I haven't even mentioned Newton's work with optics and the visible spectrum, or Einstein's role in the atomic bomb or gravitational waves and black holes. To give you an idea of both men's importance, almost every astronomical observatory uses a variation of Newton's original telescope design, and without Einstein, there would be no GPS or lasers that are used for countless devices for communication, medical, and military technology. Isaac Newton died in 1727 at the age of 84, and Albert Einstein passed away in 1955, with scientists today still making historic discoveries based on the minds and ideas of these 2 brilliant men.